Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please stand and salute the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mrs. Harner, will you please call the roll? Our work session last Wednesday where all these motions were presented and we've had a week to ask questions. All of those are online, so tonight we'll just be voting on this. With that, are there any questions from the audience relative to agenda or non-agenda items? Okay, with that, I would like to have a motion to accept the agenda as written. Motion by Mr. Keffer, second by Mr. Hammerschmidt. Any discussion on the motion? Any negative votes? Any abstentions? Motion carries. We will be going into our state of the world here right after this meeting, so with that, I make a motion to adjourn. Second by any discussion on the motion? Discussion on the motion? Any negative votes? Any abstentions? All in favor? Motion carries.
Pull up the state of Laurel, Rob. Everyone has it in front of them, the pull up the spreadsheet. All right, just as a refresher, for our opening state of Laurel, nothing is in, nothing is out. It's just a presentation of all items, so you know what we are going to talk about. What we are going to eventually decide what is in and what is out. Also, I know these things impact the budget, but please understand that approximately 80%, 87% of the budget is fixed cost once you go with salary, benefits, and utilities. So yes, these things impact the budget, and they deserve our time, respect, and attention. But I don't want you to feel like some of these, when we say $300,000 or $200,000, that's big money. That's big money. This is a $20 million budget with a $9 million payroll. I just want to get that information before. So, you know, they're right out of the gate, $9 million, 34% on top of that, about 3.1 million or so for Peasers, FICA, benefits, and the way we go. So let's start at the top here where it says building and grounds. Add a second boiler to the elementary heating system. As you can see, that's a $250,000 project. Replace the 2001 roof section, which is the rear of the middle high school, by the library. That's another $300,000. It denotes will apply for grant. Would you like to give any background on that?
There are 3 items in this particular area of buildings and grounds that there is a grant application out there right now for building improvements. We were fortunate enough to get that a couple of years ago. So we're going to try again. It is competitive, and even if we get some part of this, might help. So I believe it's due early in March is when the application's due. So we've gotten these updated, these quotes all updated. We're gonna put those in the grant. That's our numbers.
When do you find out?
I'm not sure about that. Yeah. I don't know that it even said that.
They give a submission deadline. They never give an award deadline.
They do an award, they don't give an award deadline, they give a threshold of what they're missing. So it's just,
There is a
Whatever.
district match, I believe, of 25%. So it would be the 75%
okay,
if, if,
75%, that's, okay.
Okay, also in this area, so we were on a mission last year with LED lights and replacement. And there were rebates coming from the manufacturer. And the manufacturer stopped the rebates in the middle of the project. So what we're looking to do here now, I talked to Richie, and we're going to use the $50,000 to finish the elementary school. The elementary school started, this hallway up here has been started, but for $50,000, we can finish one building. And it was his recommendation to do that at the elementary school. Rebuild the sludge pumps at the elementary school. The quote is forthcoming. We're ballparking that around $50,000. As we receive more information, we will give more information. Replace the lawnmower. So it's been a little bit, I think all of our riding mowers right now have over 2,000 hours on them. We did push a mower off until from last year to this year. So we are budgeting $15,000 for a new mower. We also are looking to replace the bleachers in the volleyball and basketball gym. Now this is 6 months lead time. So depending upon when you would want this done, I would say you would want it completed by October. So you would want it, you would want that approved no later than April. So as we get down to the nitty gritty, we won't have to pay for it in this fiscal year. But I would say this is an item you need to give serious consideration to. And if we're going to do it, I would like to give the green light in March to start the design and the ordering process. Yes, sir.
I mean, part of the reason we're doing replacement is because they older people, correct?
So I don't know if pitch is the right word, but the run is too steep. The steps are too big. They're not ADA compliant.
But my question would be, is that we have a handicap on it, whatever it's called, can any of that money be used for this?
You're talking about the special education money. No, I don't think.
Oh. No, when we put that list in for the band.
Yeah.
What was that like?
So that was special ed and it was
Oh,
co-curricular.
okay.
No railings down there either, so. There's no railings on this.
Oh. Well, I know, that was my question.
But again, we're going to try for the grant to defray some of those.
The sludge pumps, that's for the sewer.
Yes.
Elementary.
So do they have to take those down, this is unclear, do they have to take them down to rebuild, do they have a spare there, or do they swap in, how does that?
For the sludge pumps,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how they get rebuilt and replaced, but certainly once we give it a couple weeks here to digest it, the next work session, bring your questions.
Is that?
The school's lower than the pump
I
station.
understand that. How many years do we have that?
Since they put the sewer in there, it's good.
I just, we have a little bit of backup. I think the last school year. It came, yeah, like, I understand the issue. I just can't believe we got it.
And trucks will make it through. Gonna have to.
It's gonna have to. We didn't put, so keep something in mind relative to the track is, $600,000 you're looking at to redo that track. It's on there, 700. You know, they're resurface the track, $700,000. So, you know, that we cut this shit. But it's on there because it does need to be done, but it's on there. Cafeteria refrigerator at the elementary, 4-door pass-through, replace the hot wells at the high school, combi oven. So we've tried 6 ways to Sunday to repair parts in this combi oven. It works, it doesn't work. You know, gas smell. So we're throwing our hands up, getting rid of it and getting a new combi oven in the high school.
we put a new oven competitive?
There's many. There's more than one.
Is this the pizza oven? No, just a regular.
So the pizza goes down, we'd have to do that now.
Plan proceeded up.
They give slices of pizza that are about half a loaf of bread. They're huge. Elementary school, the PA system includes the back button call to the office. Dan, you want to explain why that's on there?
Yeah, so, you know, our PA system is old, I think it's the original system that was in there, but every classroom has, you want to call it emergency button. If something's going on, if you help right away, you just hit the button, it automatically brings to a phone in the office. We can see what room it is. And of course, somebody can be on their way there, they can answer and see what the issue is. It's all tied together. It's all tied in the same system, so. And they're not functioning very well. Some of them work, some of them don't. Some have a big delay.
Okay. Dan, new science curriculum materials and resources. Now, you know anything about textbooks? We're not ordering textbooks for $20,000.
So, yeah, so when Nicole's really been kind of leading the way with the new steel standards and stuff, but it's all about hands-on stuff. And we need a lot of consumable material for kids to do projects, discovery, and learning. So the majority of that cost, and it's, you know, been knocked down since last year, is more for those resources and this hands-on stuff and those consumable materials, and not so much to buy just a book. So that's why it's not as much, but it will be a little bit of a cost each year because.
They need to do the phenomenons. That's the big key word for stills. And so it's all of the exploration part of it and doing the experiments. So like Dan said, it's all hands-on and we need to be able to provide that for the students.
And I must say, last year, but particularly this year, that science lab room is being well used. Carrie, comment on that.
Yeah, I mean, it was just all of them kind of got together and cleared it out, and you found stuff that was usable, not usable, went through the closets. We just really did a good job of just finding what we had on shelves that wasn't being used and using it first. Sharing high school, but they use that lab once or twice a week. They, sometimes 2 teachers will go in there together because it's a big lab and do, you know, one big experiment. But I've been in there for just about probably all but about 3 or 4 of them to observe, and it's just been a great thing. I know Mr. Ritchie, you were in there for one of them when they were doing it. It's really great to watch the kids. They're having a good time. They're learning. They're talking to each other. It's a lot different than just sitting in a lecture. So,
Like Dan said, we are getting the high school and the elementary together. So they're going through all of their resources, and the high school has sent down things that we can use at the elementary level, and the elementary has sent things up. So Friday during our in-service, we actually have time for that built in for them to do some of that.
What grades are using it primarily?
primarily 5 and 6, they're right there, but 3 and 4 do come down.
I'd have to say, for probably the first half dozen years that I've been here, walk past that room, it was empty, but now I walk past, I almost expect someone to be in there at all times. They have embraced the hands-on portion of steels, which quite frankly, the steel standards aside, the way that they expect the science to be instructed, I think is way more valuable to the students than what it was. All right, 2 into 1 here. We delayed the reading series and we delayed replacing the IRC. If you'll remember last year, we did some things just to do some things. Weren't necessarily the best financial decisions, but we decided we were in a situation where we needed to delay some pain one more year. So Dan, again, ELA reading series in the IRC lab.
So we're still going with the same two publishers that we wanted. We split between 4, 5, and 6 with HMH, and then K-3 will be McGraw Hill. Already got new quotes from them. I've been working with the publishers as well as the teachers about cutting that down. What do we actually need? What are we actually going to use? So this cost actually is, believe it or not, less than it was predicted last year. And I'm still working with them. We might be able to work it down more because of, teachers done a good job of what do you actually need and use, not just get everything that's in there. So you don't have to get everything that comes with the series. And then the computer desks that we talked about, those are the original desks with the slide out. The keyboards are falling apart, kids pinching their fingers. Like we need to do something different in that way.
Middle high school, Edgenuity licenses. High school admin care to talk about what they use those for.
Yeah, Edgenuity is the program that we use for any cyber student. We're talking students that are still Laurel students, not outside cyber. Right now, we currently have 7 or 8 full-time students that are at home through Laurel, and that Edgenuity contract is through actually Seneca Valley that offers those. On top of the 7 or 8 that we have at home all day, we probably have another 24 students throughout the day that might have just one class, whether it's through a GIEP, where they want a different foreign language that we don't teach here, and they can take it through Edgenuity. Plus, we used Edgenuity this past year for the Keystone remediation courses. So that's the quote from Seneca Valley for all the licenses that we, it's I don't know the actual breakdown, but if you need 50 licenses or less, here's the price. If you need 75 or less, here's the price. That's the range that we're estimating for next year.
So keep something in mind, even at an $8,000 cyber tuition rate, and you said we have how many?
7 or 8 full time.
Right, so that's $56,000 to $64,000, and we're only paying 24, so we're ahead 30,000 right there. Not to mention meeting GIEPs, not to mention offering curriculum we don't have, not to mention using it for the Keystone remediation. So I think some of the smartest dollars we spend are on these Edgenuity licenses for multiple reasons. Classroom updates, tables, and chairs. We try to do $10,000 a year in the middle high school. Any idea where you're going to go with that?
No, I put it on there just because in case, but I haven't had anybody ask, so I'm not going to offer, for anybody to tell me. But if they ask, there's a possibility. But I think, before I got here, they did a number of rooms. I think we're pretty good right now. So that could be something that is possibly struck.
It's dangerous. You're coming out with that already.
Yeah.
Might not see it next month.
It's not going to balance anything, but it's 10.
Well, and here's the thing, right? As far as budgeting, everyone thinks you go after $100,000 item. Those are rare. Those are rare. And it's also not cutting crayons, right? We said that. But if you grab a few thousand here and a few thousand, that does start to add up. Personnel decisions are going to be your biggest decisions to impact that 87% of the budget. Okay, wrestling gyms, sound boards, and systems. There's a complaint that there's an echo in there, if you will. It does sound like 10,000 people are in there during a wrestling match. I mean, we have something. It's wrestling. Gym 1.
Yeah, there's an echo.
Wrestling parents, your thoughts on the sound in there? Is it a problem?
I can't hear it.
I think Lance mentioned this. Yes.
So that's something, again, that's a can that's been kicked half a dozen to 10 years, something like that. Leslie, teach town life skills, if you'd like to talk about that.
That we decided to not go with that curriculum. So that can be struck. We are going to utilize the curriculum we're currently using in learning support with those students and go to a lower grade level. So that can be struck. I'm sorry, I missed that whenever I looked at this document.
That's fine. Athletics huddle, we're in our last year of agreement. That's pretty much a staple now. football field sound, sound
I was gonna say,
system.
the other thing I complained about was the sound system.
Right, well, somehow those are supposedly indoor speakers outside. They've been outside for many years. It was a problem on the visitor side. I figured, oh, they're the visitors. But, as long as we take care of the homers, we're okay. But, that does need, to be addressed. Resurface the track. I don't think we can do everything that Richie wants to do and resurface the track, but we'll have some further discussions on that. Batting cage shell for $6,000.
Just I need to add after the fact, it's on the electronic copy, but, not the paper copy. The PIA put in a requirement for the shot clock for varsity, and JV basketball, boys and girls. That's an actual requirement, not this coming school year, but the following. So you have a little bit of time, but looking at it, it's probably gonna be about 15,000.
I think get it done now for two reasons. One, prices never go down. Okay, and then two, give ourselves a year to work out the kinks. Because here's another thing too. If there are 3,000 secondary buildings across the state of Pennsylvania, 2,000 of them wait a year to order it. I don't want to be one of those that, because you don't have it, you're not gonna be able to host.
So thing, home games, yeah.
They do it at the same time as the bleachers too.
Right,
Gym
good
closed,
point.
you just do it.
That has to be both gyms.
No, well, Kenny would like to have it in both gyms. If you ever played varsity in one gym and JV, but middle school, it's not a requirement. So, I mean, Kenny did say 15,000 is probably on the higher side. It's probably not gonna cost that. So once he gets an actual price, if you want to do both gyms, maybe you could do it for 15. I don't want to say that, for sure, but it doesn't have to be in the middle
On
school.
the other hand, if some varsity doesn't need it, I don't want to spend another 15,000 just to have it.
How does it work when we host like tournaments and stuff? When you're using both gyms.
You don't have to host tournaments. It's probably the
Right,
answer.
but you bring.
But if you want to do that, then yeah, you'd have to do it in both gyms.
Obviously bring in a little bit of money when you host tournaments. Is that something boosters can kick on?
Good
Well,
out.
here's a line item you don't know about, and we haven't put on this year, but the MFR fund. Mahoney Rich Frederick. Mahoney Frederick Rich. So, from the Spartan sponsorships, you look at the bottom of our newsletter, look at all of our venues, all those banners, right? That's 2,500 a pop. We put that money aside so we can, to your point, we can earmark that money to cover that. So is it general fund? Yes, it's general fund, but it's revenue that was raised separately from tax revenues that can go towards that. So our Mrs. Columbus, as other duties get assigned, who's been our Spartan sponsorship administrator. So maybe for next month at the work session, if you could bring our Spartan sponsorship and just, I had overlooked that as well, how many changes we've had on the board that wouldn't know that. But originally, Mark, Kevin, and I did it. And when Mrs. Columbus came, she was so proficient. She was better than the three of us. So
Sure. Well, I mean, if we could look at this price from there, that's
some of those. It's not a huge fund. Off the top of my head, it might be around $50,000 or so.
I'll start making more phone calls and.
Well, and quite frankly, the contracts are up on those.
It's a couple of years, so. Yeah.
We didn't redo any this year. So this
No, we
year
did
for
not.
the second year.
Haven't paid for it.
If I get one other share question, I talked to Mr. Jermansky over the last year or so about some of the weights we got rid of. Is there any chance on, he's talking about the bigger ones. Are they dumbbells or barbells? Some of the bigger ones we got rid of and he could have used them and I wasn't sure.
That was before I got here. I'm not sure what he had and what the replacements were. But he didn't say anything to me.
Plates, how about we get some specifics?
All right.
Make a contact. Anything else before we go on, Mr. Randall? Batting cage shell, $6,000. Any comment on that, Mr. Lake?
Yeah, the one that currently is, I think Richie looked at it and tried to zip tie as much as he could. But what it is for is, when they're doing batting practice, balls just go out of the shell, not protecting anything, land over to track while track's having practice. There's been a couple times last year where there's been some close calls, and Richie's looked at it and tried to zip tie as much as he could.
I don't want to defend a zip tie net.
Yeah. So you could say safety issue.
I would say. Technology, outdoor APs for stadium saturation, E-rate. Dr. Lee.
So this has been a line item we've had for the last several years that we have, it has been a victim of the budget issues. So that's when we've whacked out. I was able to get it to where we can E-rate it though. So it will come in a significant savings on what the line item was. I did find out through Sydney, we could do it since we have outdoor study sessions out there from time to time. Cameras, that's just another line item we've had for years, just as we continue to replace, expand, and maintenance. When I first started, we had, I think, 8 or 10 digital cameras. Everything else was analog. Now, Chief and I were just talking, we have like 12 left. So we've been doing a good job, two things, replacing them, but also repurposing so we're not wasting some of the stuff that we have that are good. So just so you guys are aware, the only thing we're throwing away are the analog cameras. If it's digital, we can repurpose it. We've been doing that.
About how many digital cameras do we have across the campus?
We got 164.
Up here, 160.
And we need more. That's Chief.
Yeah. I'm sure he always wants to. I've never met a police officer that says, you know what? We have too many cameras. Can we run some?
I was literally just watching them today thinking, it'd be nice if I had 2 cameras in that area. One this way and one
I'm
that way.
sure. I'm sure.
There's always something that happens where a camera wasn't.
It's everywhere.
Unfortunately, they figured that out.
The ones you see is that-
Chromebook refresh, this is just part of our cycle. We need to maintain. We don't do textbooks much anymore.
It's a big number too, and unfortunately,
How much are they a piece though?
well, I can't even get a definitive number, right? Right now, I can get them between, in a bulk rate, with warranty, with everything out the door, it's like between $400 and $450. And that when and just sitting with the rep, she told me, she's like, Rob, you probably want to budget 20% on there because semiconductors, chips, memory, it's all gone up. I mean, some as much as 95% in the last year because of AI, chips, data centers, all that good stuff. So I actually was going to make a recommendation. If we could, if it's something we're going to buy, we could get them cheaper right now. I mean, 120, we probably could get them for 90. We'd save 30K, something like that. Unfortunately, because second quarter, which is right around the corner, they're going up between 20, 25 more percent, unfortunately. And the bad thing about this, Mr. Rich, is this is coming at the same time when we have to have pristine devices as we're testing online. So it's not really something that we could say, hey, we don't need
So let's,
functional equipment.
you, Jen, and I have a little follow-up relative to the 30,000.
I could have cried when they gave me that number, truth be told.
I mean, I know COVID wasn't that long ago, but they were 200, 250 a pop.
Even last year, we were getting it for like 265, 275.
And now they're 400, 450.
They'll allow you to buy 200 plus. Right, it'd be great. I mean,
Sophus,
yeah, this is our firewall. Our firewall is actually it's already been decommissioned. I mean, we're not able to put updates on it because it is no longer even serviceable. So it's not even a want. This is a have to. What the firewall does is it keeps us HIPAA compliant, which is Children Information or Internet Protection Act. We have to be compliant so kids don't see inappropriate content. Good thing is that's E-ratable. So rather than paying what 30, it's 12,000 out of district funds.
well,
So
if you look at whether it's the stadium or the Sophus, you have 15,000 and 30,000. We have some district funds. So Sam, tell us about the sand.
This is another one that, that is coming down the pike. It's an item that I had put on my 5-year plan. That's why I have it here. And the SAN it is, storage area network, but that's basically where we run all of our virtual servers. When I first started here, we had 12. Now we have 2. And what we did is we took all those and made it from a physical, we made them virtual. It's not our student information system, but it's the brains of how everything works. So it's,
Are these original from the 96?
no, this is something that, being completely candid, if you said, hey, Rob, can we go another year? We can gamble, go another year. It's not out. We can still get updates and so forth, pay maintenance. It's going, it's something that it's good. Once again, we're going to have to replace it sometime really soon. But if you're asking if this is one that we could sacrifice, if need be, it's not imperative that we have it as opposed to the Sophos. We cannot not get that one. But this is something we're going to have to do, if not this year, next. It's coming. Just because it depreciates as well.
So if it doesn't work with that?
If it doesn't work, well, we would lose, we'd shut down. I mean, do I think it's going to shut down this year? No, that's just like what Mr. McGee said. Hey, can you get another year out of these switches? Probably, right? I think we could get another year out of it. So, but we're going to have to pay for it at some point.
Yes, it's gonna cost.
That's what that, right.
And unfortunately, this isn't one I can E-rate.
All right, transportation, we always put 25,000 down for pavement. If you know anything about pavement, I'm gonna get you very far for $25,000. Did you phone a friend or something? 9-passenger van. Sean's asking for replacement there. And then repair our garage and garage doors. There's some interesting ways things are hooked up down there. And if you turn, you have to have this turned on in order to press this button. There's a lot of down there. So he wants to make some things right, and we have some doors that just don't work. So we'll be getting you some hard numbers on garage repairs and garage doors. One thing I think we take great pride in is not only purchasing our own buses, but maintaining them. We've taken the extra step to have all of our vehicles under cover. And obviously the garage doors would make a difference.
Do we know how many?
How many he's gonna get for the 75,000? I mean, yeah, so probably about half of them. On the back are our personnel. These are not teaching positions. We'll make those decisions after April 1, who retires, whatnot. So let's look at these positions. So the elementary school, the 4 Kelly people. Dan, you want to explain that?
So each of those positions are in a tested area. So 3, 4, 5, and 6, they support the teachers. They pull small groups. They push into the classrooms. They're basically there as like an interventionist. And if we don't have subs for the day, they end up subbing. So they don't always get to do that every day, but it's twofold because we get that extra support when we are okay, and if we're not okay, at least have somebody that can teach and knows what's going on.
Well, that's the big thing. Can you imagine, okay, you're the Kelly sub assigned to 3rd grade. So if the teacher's out, you can just pick up and go rather than just kill time for that day. So I think that's pretty good. Kelly day-to-day monitor or Kelly day-to-day subs, those are as needed in addition to those positions. If we have more than 4 out on a day, got to call additional subs. Cyber Academy monitor.
I mean, I know you guys started that with the vision of students sitting in a room doing cyber. I mean, right now, like I said, our 7 or 8 are doing it from home. And we only have a couple that are taking advantage of it. That's something that we could discuss.
We can we can discuss eliminating that for next year.
I think so.
Okay. Academic support staff, Kelly Services.
We have 3 subs that come every day, no matter what. And yeah, there's a couple days where, we don't have 3 people out, but they're so valuable because most days we do have 3 or, Leslie likes pulling teachers all the time for IEP meetings that I have to cover. So, yeah.
That doggone IDEA.
Right.
participation.
Yeah, so, and those are 2 teachers at a time. That's a special ed teacher and a regular ed teacher. So having 3 from Kelly coming every day, I mean, I don't know how we would survive. We didn't have that for subs.
And it's not like before where, people get calls in the morning. The sub pool is very thin. So about the only way we get them is with having these everyday positions. Special education paraprofessional.
We have 5 students coming into our autistic support life skills support classroom with autism or other mental health and educational diagnosis. That will take 7. There'll be 7 students in that classroom, which is a lot. Right now we have 2.5 aides, 5 babies coming in. Being supervised at all times. We just need to maintain safety and security and have hands-on so that we can monitor them. Because if you've met some kindergartners coming in from early intervention, they're a little rambunctious, to say the least.
Well, and then not for nothing, keep something in mind, if we spend money on a paraprofessional and that intervention works and keeps that kid here, that's a far cry from conservatively $50,000 a year plus transportation to go to an outside placement.
It's not the list.
There you go. All right, so that's our introduction to State of Laurel. There's been some discussion. We'll have more discussion at the work session next month. We'll have more discussion at our admin meeting next month. Any question, comment, or concern before we close this part? Okay, I see that concludes it. Mr. Redford, you okay with that? All right, so looking at our agenda, we want to thank everybody.